Mexico City, for the longest time, they've been on the take. They're vendidos. They've been sold to the cartels, the drug traffickers, or human smugglers for the longest time. Mexico trying to, and check this out, in their lawsuit, there's pittance, there's nothing. And the lawsuit that took Colt and Smith Wesson and a whole bunch of other gun manufacturers in the U.S. took them to court. They were seeking only $10 billion in damages. What is that going to pay for? Anyway, so the high court flushed down the toilet this lawsuit from Mexico. What Mexico needs to do, Mexico needs to fix Mexico. And I'm talking about the politicians. Again, I am differentiating. Again, it's a completely two train tracks. One is the people, the culture, the art, the food, the pan dulce, everything that's so beautiful, the beach. There's one thing that's Mexico. Sadly, it is tied at the hip by corruption, a culture of corruption and incompetence and love for failed ideas. Mexico City is full of rot, communist thinking, Marxist thinking, rot, leftist rot, government loving rot. Mexico City is full of communists. One of the capitals of communism in the world still espouse and preach and defend these failed ideas is Mexico City. The government of Mexico needs to fix Mexico. I don't know how the heck they're going to do it because it's deeply, deeply rooted to the corruption in Mexico. It's part of the culture. It's part of the expectation. I mean, for generations now, la mordida, the little bite, a little taste, a little bite, la mordida, bite into. You expect that with the local customs people, the immigration people, the folks that you're crossing the border, give them a little mordida, give them a little something. At the inspection point, 30, 35 miles into Mexico, at another inspection point, give them a little mordida, give them it's expected to give them a little something, a little bribe to turn the other way so you can keep going into. My dad had to do that for many years when he was taking relief supplies and food and beans and rice and shoes and clothing to those ranchos, los ejidos in China, Nuevo León, outside of Monterrey, to all the poor people that were his extended family that he wanted me to meet and see and understand how I had it real good living in the U.S., living in Houston. He did that every long weekend for Easter, for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. I love those trips. I had a bunch of friends over there. But he had to give mordidas because he had a trunk full of supplies that he was taking over there. Always had to give a bribe to take all that stuff, all the relief supplies to these people. And it's just expected. I don't know how they're going to do it. Maybe it's going to be a half generation, 20 years, maybe a full generation. But they could, if they wanted to, they could make a commitment, start now and change the culture and educate children when it comes to a proper political culture. But I don't see that happening in Mexico anytime soon. It's just another embarrassing loss for Mexico. The time is 10:15. The Sergio Show on Newstalk 710 KURV. You good to go, Freddie? You want to go? Attaboy. Ted Nugent, I want to say thanks to him. There's a conversation I had with him yesterday. He is waving the flag, and he's on the front lines fighting on behalf of liberty-minded folks in South Texas, gathering this evening, by the way, to try to raise some money to keep the fight going, try to bring back some common sense and liberty-minded culture in politics here in South Texas. What an amazing honor and pleasure it is to speak with Patriot Ted Nugent joining me right now. And on behalf of like-minded patriots in South Texas, thank you, Ted, for supporting this event to keep working, keep pushing the cause of liberty. I want to get your thoughts as we open up this conversation on, like, we're 4 months in plus the Trump administration, like everything that has been achieved, everything that he's put in place and still moving. And I just want to get your thoughts on where we are right now in bringing America back.
Well, thanks for having me on, Sergio. You know, I don't just represent a very soulful funk brother, Motor City, Detroit muscle guitar player. I really get the honor and I'm humbled every day by people coming up to me. So I have absorbed and researched and vetted the spirit of people that approach my wife Shemaine and I everywhere we go, because I've got a big mouth. I'm exactly what the founding fathers wanted all Americans to be suspicious of all authority, to question all authority, and to demand constitutional accountability from our elected employees. The bottom line is, I feel so good, even though we've stopped the satanic toilet flush by the deep state and the Democrat Party. You know, the Democrat Party, and everybody listen closely, it's not a difference of opinion anymore. The Democrat Party stands for that rainbow flag as they are perverting children with perverted men in pantyhose singing "It Won't Lick Itself." Now, that is hard to take, but see, that's why the apathy that cowards bent over because such horror is hard to take. We allowed a Joe Biden, a criminal, a lifetime corrupt gangster that perfectly represents the Democrat Party, that has no fiscal accountability. They are against the truth, logic, and common sense of the great Ronald Reagan, where we wanted limited government and fiscal accountability. You know, my name is Ted Nugent. I'm just a guitar player, but you know how I operate my family, my band, my crew, my businesses, my hunting operation? I demand limited government and fiscal accountability. So if the guitar player can do it, how in God's name did we allow our government not to adhere to those basic values and responsibilities in this one and only unique experiment, self-government? So I know I'm going on and on here because it's such a dynamic change in spirit in America, because Donald J. Trump is running America the way that good families operate their own accountable lifestyle. Everything Donald Trump is doing is literally divine intervention, because I could go down the list, but the list is so mind-boggling that there is an element of our society, Democrats and Republicans that have no spine, who literally think that open borders are a good idea when historically it's been cultural suicide. That there's a segment of our society that actually believes that men should destroy women's sports, go into women's locker rooms and bathrooms, and claim not to be a man and get into a women's prison and impregnate, guards.
Yeah.
Sergio, so it is literally Planet of the Cuckoo's Nest out there, and Donald Trump has stopped the embarrassing, toxic, criminal, corrupt toilet flush by the deep state, and we have a lot of work ahead of us. But let me not continue without identifying the real cruelty. The real cruelty isn't the Democrats or the rhinos or Marxism or communism or Nazism. The real horror in America is conservatives that don't step up and vote. It's apathy. Apathy is the death wish of the experiment in self-government. So you were identifying that finally down there in South Texas, you got to be red. Well, good morning, South Texas. Ann Richards was not a real Texan. Luby's Cafeteria did not have to happen because Texans allowed total infringements on our right to keep and bear arms. I could give you more of the list, but bottom line is salute the Hidalgo County Republicans and the Tejas PAC and everybody who is at this event, because finally there's no more fence sitting, no more bending over, no more giving in to the other side and being tolerant to evil. Thank you. Stand for God, family, country, Constitution, Bill of Rights, the Ten Commandments, the Golden Rule, good over evil, goodwill and decency, work ethic, law and order. That's not the guitar player's opinion. That is the recipe for the only quality of life in the history of the world, and Texas better stop with the compromise. We need to get deep universal red, or we're going to continue like Austin, Texas, and being an embarrassing suburb of San Francisco. How's that for an answer, Sergio?
There we go. And I'll tell you what, you made reference to an incident, heartbreaking incident that never should have happened years ago when Democrat Ann Richards was governor of Texas. You mentioned Luby's. And in these 10 years that we have fought hard, the precinct chairs, the women's groups, the college Republicans, the young conservatives, this movement in the Rio Grande Valley, a huge part of its success is young people standing up and standing up for their values. These young people don't realize what you just mentioned. The massacre at a Luby's cafeteria, gunmen when they just killed people, and all these people who were not allowed to carry their protection, carry their sidearm, carry their rifle, and they were massacred. That's part of history. And I mentioned this for the young people, the young Republicans at the Tejano PAC attending the dinner and participating. Go look at that shameful incident in Texas history back from many, many years back. That's what Ted was talking about. And you and I were on the same frequency. I was thinking apathy is the poison that threatens to kill this movement back to American values, back to common sense, back to morality. It is apathy. And when you get people registered to vote, in order to get there, we need people to open up their pocketbooks. And I want to thank you. I got a list of some of the items that you provided us for auction. Autographed pictures with you and your wife with President Trump. You got caps also that you've autographed, and a beautiful flag. I will not comply with an AR-15 on there in your logo and signature as well. Just some of the items. Give generously so that the Tejano PAC can keep pushing. Local conservatives, Republicans, young Republicans, college Republicans, the women's groups, all the precinct chairs can keep working to register more people to vote, to phone bank, to block walk, to support the candidates. Let's get her done, because if we fall asleep at the switch, these Democrats, they're counting on taking over the U.S. House next year. And the only thing standing in the way are people donating and working. Ted Nugent, thank you for everything that you do for the cause of liberty in our nation. God bless you.
Well, Sergio, thank you. Yes, we just wrapped up another celebration of how we become and maintain freedom, and that was Memorial Day. I want everybody to close their eyes for a moment, not if you're driving, but I want you to dig deep into your heart and soul and envision processions of flag-draped coffins. You and I owe those flag-draped coffins to demand U.S. constitutional accountability from our elected employees, because those heroes of the military, they charged into the fire and they gave the ultimate sacrifice for their constitutional oath. So I want everybody to visit this organization called HunterNation.org. It's a 501c3 nonprofit, but we go after all the licensed hunters in America and discovered that no state had even 50% of licensed hunters that had ever registered to vote, Sergio. Wow. So we went after them, and in all those 7 swing states, including South Texas, we did robocalls and we did knocking on doors and emails and texts, and we got an unprecedented high percentage of licensed hunters, which defines conservatism, conservation, constitutionalism. HunterNation.org. Our boots on the ground, getting conservatives to vote those basic core values: God, family, country, law, and order. So everybody visit HunterNation.org, because if we don't vote for our values, the Ann Richards of the world will veto our values. So Sergio, God bless you on your True North compass setting. You are my truth, logic, common sense blood brother. And a big salute to Tommy Jendrick and everybody down there, the Hidalgo County Republicans. Let's raise hell. The American dream is based on experimenting in self-government every day, and that means raising hell against this horrific wave of toxicity from the deep state, and we have a real commander-in-chief. So God bless and Godspeed, real America and real Texas. Thank you, Sergio.
Ted Nugent, Lord bless you, brother. We'll talk soon. Take care.
Godspeed, buddy. Live it up. Raise hell.
There you go. Thank you to Ted Nugent for his time. Is one of the many folks at the national level impressed. Those of y'all out there working for a living, those of y'all who pay the bills for all the stupid spending up in D.C. you want to bring back. Those who are fighting to try to preserve our country, make sure that it survives for our kids, for our grandkids. All of you in any capacity, whether you funded something, whether you volunteered, you went to GOP headquarters, you helped out candidates, trying to encourage more. Those of you who ran and lost as well, keep fighting. We got to continue this fight for common sense, for decency, for liberty, for the rights of the individual, gun rights and property rights, limited government, low taxation, all that stuff. Keep fighting, keep fighting. Thank you, Ted Nugent, for your time. The Sergio Show, News Talk 710 KURV. The time is 10:26. This hour of the program is a service of Lone Star National Bank and South Texas Buick GMC.
News Talk 710 KURV, the pulse of Valley business. Your source for the latest business headlines, expert insights, and all things shaping the Rio Grande Valley's economy. Stay informed. Stay connected. News Talk 710 KURV.
The City of McAllen is thrilled to offer your business an opportunity to apply for a matching grant of up to $15,000. Take advantage of this amazing opportunity and apply today at